And I believe we are live streaming now. Hello, everyone. This is Mek, VP of Quality, and this is the Quality Department's group conversation. If you haven't catch up on the materials or the videos, feel free to voice your questions. We're happy to touch on it again, even though it's been covered. Happy to answer any and all of your questions. And a reminder, this is a public live stream. I see that we have questions in already. Number one, Rupert, would you like to vocalize the question?
Oh, hey, Mek. So I see that the Q3 OKR of hiring to plan was missed. How can the TA team better support you so that the Q4 OKR of hiring to plan is met?
Thank you very much. You've been a great help. The score is also many factors, our team's availability, overall team's visibility. So it's not shining a bad light onto anything. I think it's a combination of making sure we have attention to it, and the contributor success team is particularly a challenging one that we have been spending efforts in sourcing. We want someone that's really ingrained in the community and have the technical chops and leadership to fill this role. So it's been we've been spending time there more intentionally. Other than that, upfront sourcing, we're doing hackathons and continuing what we've been doing. Does that answer your question, Rupert? I know that you've been a great help, and anything else you want to highlight as part of the recruiting, sourcing, hiring?
No, not at all, not at all. I just wonder if there's anything we could do different to be better for you.
Thank you for the question. Victor, you have number two. Community contributions.
Sure. I was super happy to say that Kubernetes was one of the topics for last week hackathon, and that gave me this. That's basically motivation. Like, how can we help, and especially the configure team, but I guess others might be interested as well, with building more the community and getting more contributions.
Great question. We are planning a overall strategy update with the community relations team and an AMA this quarter. So please follow on with that as well. In short, I laid down bullet points. So in the short term, recognition of contributions either in Slack or making us aware. We have a nomination process where we send rewards and swag. We also have some experimental budget this quarter to reward contributors that keep coming back or submit really substantial changes or impactful changes. Another is ensuring the backlog is easy to get picked up. We're seeing, I see conversations, coaching contributors to break things down. We have a great strategy. Keeping the backlog small and clean helps. And then lastly, what we're focusing on in Q4 is analysis of the bottleneck MR. So MRs that haven't been merged for a long time. That's also an area. We're thinking of how we can say thank you because they submitted it. It hasn't been merged. That there's still some back and forth we can go and coaching the community on how to better iterate and then ship smaller things. And in the long term, coaching and more awards program. There's more information in the strategy linked below.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Next question is from, do we have already any insights about the latest hackathon that was running last week?
Thank you. This is where I'm proud of our partnership with the community relations team. Kyle, you want to take that one? I think you have the numbers already. And
yeah. So Christos, who's the manager in the code contributor program, provided these. I just signal boosting them, but 244 MRs submitted from 42 contributors, I should say here, across 11 projects. I don't know how that got messed up, with 15 first-time contributors. So I'm going to edit what I have down here. There's some more details in the Slack message that I linked to there, but pretty good engagement over the weekend on the hackathon.
Thank you.
I see Christos is here as well. Do you want to take the mic, Christos? You may be muted. We can't hear you.
Sorry about that. I think you can hear me now. Thanks for the opportunity. The only thing I wanted to mention is that it's the first time we're experimenting with running the hackathon over the weekend to see whether we can increase participation and extended it over the course of Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It was an interesting hackathon. There was a lot of activity, a lot of new first-time contributors, which is really nice. It's going to take some time to evaluate the quality of the contributions since we introduced the point system that has been working so far. But so far, great numbers. And also, just to highlight and say thanks to people that actually over the weekend partially triaged or reviewed MRs. Thank you all.
Yeah, to add on that, we've been on Q3 and speaking for the wider team here. There were 2 events in Q3, which is the hackathon and also Hacktoberfest. In Q4, Christos is leading another Q4 hackathon. And then in addition to that, security and quality are co-hosting a security bug bounty awards program. That's still in the draft, but that would also create some more splash in the community. More to come. All right, Christy, you have number 4, reference architectures.
Yeah, I see that y'all have a Q4 KR to increase adoption. So I wanted to see if there's anything that UX can do to help since those reference architectures live on our docs site.
That's great. We have the perfect collaboration. We're trying to improve the documentation exposure, and with a low level of shame, the look and feel and how it's presented isn't really great. So an eye from a UX could help us here. Backstory here is that we have these 6 reference architectures, 7 tiers, so 1K up to 50K, and then across 3 cloud providers. We're providing information on how often it's tested. It's tested in master now, so before code gets shipped, that's great. How much it costs, and then how often the test gets run, and then make that information broadly. So those are the current iterations we want to try to push out, make sure people are aware in the materials.
Awesome. So if we're talking about content strategy here, Susan Tacker is on the call, so she's hearing this. That is her team's jam is content strategy. So I'm sure that they'd be able to provide some guidance on that. And then if it's more from a UX perspective, then Valerie might be able to help get a little bit of collaboration there for you. So yeah, let us know.
That's awesome. Thank you. Susan, I'll reach out to you in the issue and then we can take it from there. I appreciate it. All right, I don't see any more questions, but there are also some key highlights I want to point out. There are 2 new performance indicators for the SCT job family. That's in slide 12. So please take a look. Those are our focus to ensure our tests are not just increasing in numbers, but also it's efficient, it's stable. And this is also a front line before it goes into deployments, and that's MTTP, mean time to production, comes after this. That's one of the key highlights I want to bring out in terms of metrics. And then 13 on our partnership is going great on the merge times for GU, so that's also available as well.
Hey, Mac, I have
Mark.
Hey,
Sure.
I have a quick question. I haven't typed it in the doc yet.
No worries. We covered.
Hey, on slide number 7, on point B, you talk about the GET provisioning, and I see that it's not started yet. But I've got customers that are excited to use this or GET provisioning as they provision multiple instances within their self-hosted agency. Can you talk a little bit about what you see as kind of the future direction of the GET provisioning?
Thank you for that. So a bit of a context. For this quarter, we focus on the provisioning needs in terms of GitLab dedicated, and that's the focus this quarter. For the future, we're working in close partnership with Josh, our director of product in distribution and enablement. We want to consolidate GET as the provisioning tool of choice if it's self-managed on any customer hosted by be it cloud or be it their own hardware. And that will be the consolidation tool of choice. We want to build out more of the confidence if you're saying deploying on Azure, are you using a vanilla Postgres DB or a cloud SQL cloud SQL instance? And we want to be opinionated about that and make sure our setup is efficient. It's not a Snowflake configuration, and make sure that it's tested. It adds confidence and also adds to our efficiency of when we go into demos. So reference architecture is brought up early in the process, so we don't go back and migrate people back to reference architecture. It's brought up really early in the conversation. Now, with all that, if you have any insights on what are the needs of customers in the different sectors on how they prefer to provision the GitLab on their own, that would be useful. So that's the overall visibility I have to provide right now.
Okay, great. Thanks, Mick.
My pleasure. Thank you. And to add on Mark, thanks for asking. If you haven't read or watched the materials, we are more than happy to cover your questions in this call. So please don't be shy. We can questions are welcomed anytime.
Just a quick follow up on that. Does Git is it in scope for Git to also provision like some sort of dynamic runner infrastructure in support of the customer's instance for orchestrating CI?
The runner provisioning is limited at this point. We have been discussing how to best provision the runners. I don't think Git is that far out yet. This also depends on there's automation that's needed or features that allows us to register runners. And those APIs need to be mature first, and we can bake it in Git. But it won't be far out if we could have those support. It's just a matter of wiring the scripts into Git and typing it in. I believe right now it's still the provisioning of runners is separate from Git, but it would be great if we can realize that efficiency together. Thank you for the question, Marshall. And we're in 12 minutes in. I'll pause for a few more seconds. If there's any last minute thoughts, feel free to vocalize them. We can type the questions for you, so you don't have to type it in. We're more than happy to have the conversation with all of you. All right, that's a good amount of awkward silence. Welcome to December, and then we have 15 minutes back. See you all in the next group conversation, and have a good GitLab day. Bye.